Aloha! What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Omens. I'm JayDreamerZ. Good to see you guys. I see that we've got the game in the chat. Looks like Nayonet's number one, or no, Beans and Toast is number one. Nayonet's number two. Ominous is number three. Ominous says that he heard some lightning that cracked so loud, or some thunder, thought that the firmament was splitting open. What's up, Tasty Waffles, Jeeps, Zafir? Good to see you, Zafir. Hey, it was great hanging out with you and the rest at our plasma apocalypse study time this weekend. That was pretty awesome. Val, good to see you, Val. Marisol, I see a lot of people coming in. So let's jump right into things. We're going to study the omens of the apocalypse. That's what this whole segment is about. And we're going to start with a sound check. Actually, let me just make sure you guys can hear me okay. Yes, it looks like you can. All right, cool. Now, let's jump over to public health officials warn of toxic blue-green algae in Colorado. It's here, where I am. It's in my hometown. It's all over the world. This stuff's spreading everywhere like wildfire. This toxic blue-green algae, also known as harmful algal blooms, goes by many other scientific names. Let's check out what they have to say about it.
Right now, public health officials are urging you to protect yourself and your pets from toxic algae. You may have seen it out in the water in places this summer. This blue-green algae can grow rapidly and produce toxins that can be harmful to humans and fatal to pets. That's according to the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment.
Toxic to humans and fatal to pets. I would guess also fatal to humans as well. This is bad news, mostly because, 75% of the surface is covered in water. So let's see what else they have to say.
Here's what you can do if you do come in contact with it. If you're exposed, they say shower or rinse with fresh water right away. If your pet is exposed, you should keep them from licking themselves until they're rinsed. Rinse them with clean, fresh tap water and watch for symptoms.
Now, believe it or not, a lot of people need to be told to shower after they go swim in the lake, like the green lake and crap like that. You shouldn't need to be told that, but please do. Don't go swimming in green water. Don't go swimming in blue, any color of water, except clear water. That's the best kind. This is rapidly growing. You're going to see some more examples of this too, but we've covered this many different times on our Omen segment. That's because of the ocean, and the ocean is going to affect life on the surface world as we know it, and it's starting to do that already.
If you or your pet do show symptoms, you should contact a healthcare provider or a vet right away. The Department of Public Health does have an
symptoms of neurotoxins is what he's talking about. Now,
active map that shows where blooms have recently been reported.
They've got these maps.
Blue means no bloom.
This is everywhere on Earth right now. This is happening all over the place. Let's skip to the next one. Officials claim to curb algal blooms in Lake Elsinore with new regulations. Look at that. Nice, delicious green water. You guys want to swim in that, drink that, be anywhere near that? I don't. But this is developing across the world as we speak. You can easily find this article after article anywhere on the internet right now, as the world's water supply is becoming what the Bible describes as wormwood. It's becoming bitter. That's basically what wormwood translates into. It's becoming toxic, right? Which is a huge deal for us. Let's continue on. In related news, also, we have off of the coast of Antarctica. Antarctica is almost always going to be in the Omens news. And this one says, Antarctica's krill catch hits a record high after China backs out of conservation deal. So krill is on the rise off of the shores of Antarctica. Why is that important, right? Well, because the conditions in the ocean, because they're changing, because they're warming, because they're releasing more oxygen, and because those animals and creatures that breathe oxygen through gills and stuff are dying off and stuff, it's creating the perfect atmosphere for krill. What is krill? It is what do they call that? It's seafood if you eat that kind of crap. Shellfish, right? Shellfish. I'm emphasizing the fish there. It's not fish at all. They're ocean bugs. And their whole point is to clean the water. That's why they exist. They're not there for you to catch and eat at Red Lobster or anything. They're nature's cleansing agents. They eat crap. They literally eat crap. They eat all the stuff that is deteriorating and falling apart, and all the garbage that's in the ocean, these things are on the rise now, right? But what else do they eat? They eat all of the stuff that is contained within these harmful algal blooms, which, if you paid attention in our last episode, we talked about how there was these huge, massive algal blooms off the coast of Australia, southern Australia, that are like glowing. You can see them, quote unquote, from space. And that's how bad these toxic, harmful algal blooms are. These things eat phytoplankton. Phytoplankton contributes to the harmful algal blooms, and it also can glow. It's bioluminescent, or can be. So let's check out what it says right here just for a second. A crustacean. Doesn't that sound delicious? Crusty bug. Central to the diet of whales and critical buffer to global warming, has surged to a record and is fast approaching a never-before-reached seasonal catch limit that would trigger unprecedented early closures of fisheries. Yeah, so they're trying to get as much of this krill as they can. All this krill is on the rise because of the rapidly changing environment in the ocean waters. This next one, glacier in Antarctica that could drown cities, is breaking apart. I don't really care about it drowning cities. I don't care about any of that glaciers breaking or anything. I mean, it's relevant, but this right here symbolically represents the firmament, okay? From my point of view, Antarctica is connected to the firmament itself, which is made out of ice. So when they show you Antarctica splitting, breaking, cracking open, especially when you're watching movies like in The Day After Tomorrow, this is the whole opening sequence. They're showing you the dome breaking open. They're showing you this is what's we're tapping into through our collective subconscious. The dome is going to break open, and it's showing you that. And there's also this talk of all these domes in the news, heat domes, and it's the heat that's under our great dome that is increasing. Fertility rates reach a record low in 2024, CDC data shows. Well, let's listen to this and see what they're blaming that on. Surely it's got nothing to do with massive worldwide energetic earth changes and fluctuations. Let's see. I bet it's humans. I bet they're going to say they're just choosing not to have children. All of them are so mature. All the humans across the world are just so intellectually mature and economically motivated to not have children, right?
The total fertility rate in the United States is 1.599.
The fertility rate in the United States is 1.59.
About 1.6. This is the lowest level we have seen in the United States. And this is below the level we generally consider as demographers to be the replacement level.
Below the level that they consider to be the replacement level. What that means in English is that people are not producing enough babies to sustain the population. Over time, very short amount of time, the population will shrink and become nothing.
And so when we're below that, we worry about the population's ability to maintain itself. I think this really speaks to how concerned people are about their economic circumstances.
I like how they're showing all this baby stuff when they're telling you that the fertility rate's dropping. You know what I mean? They're not showing you all the ugly weirdos and wackos and all the crazies and lunatics of the world. You know what I mean? That you don't want to make babies with. Like, you know, they're just, I don't. But they're not showing you all the weird crap and all the weird people. They're showing you like, oh, let's show someone who's already pregnant and they're really thinking
really
about
the
things.
number one driver.
They're not showing you
of how people feel.
They're not showing you, you know, all the stuff that they give you so that you can't get pregnant and don't get pregnant and can stop pregnancy and all of these wonderful little medicines and gizmos and contraptions and pills and shots and all this other stuff. They're not showing you all that.
About having children. We will say I don't think anything that is happening right now is going to encourage people to have births.
I don't think anything that's happening right now is going to encourage people to have births. That speaks a lot on the modern society that we have.
You know, they're worried about things, and worry is not a good moment to have kids. So one of the things that just...
They're worried about things. Now they're going to show Trump with his stroke Trump. Looks like he had a stroke. He's like, looks like Popeye. Anyways, now they're going to blame the president, I'm sure. You know, the president of the United States, their president. Everyone's so excited about all the laws that he's passing and stuff. And let's see what else they say.
In the recent budget bill is these Trump accounts. $1,000 as an investment account.
Ooh, $1,000 to have a baby. See, they're trying to make this about economics. They're trying to make this about money, which is exactly what was shown to us and predicted in the movie Idiocracy, which was supposed to be a fictitious account and just for
things
entertainment
that they're doing
value.
are really symbolic, and they are not likely to actually budge things for real Americans. What real people want is they want leave when they have kids. They don't want to cost any money to give birth. They want to be able to stay home with their kids, when they're first born. They want an actual leave program, and they want childcare.
They want childcare. They want leave. They don't want it to cost so much to have a baby. It costs $0 to have a baby. None. Okay. I hear all the arguments already from the rest of the world. Oh yeah, but what about diapers, and what about cribs, and what about car seats, and what about this, and what about that? No, it costs $0. You go into your bathtub, your living room, swimming pool, wherever you want to do it, river, lake, and you have a baby. It's free. I promise. It's free. Okay. All this stuff that's a mental blocker. These are spells that have been placed. They're called web form spells, and they're cast out like webs so that you like walk into it. It's like an invisible spider web, and it's preventing you. It's your own mind that's preventing you from having a baby because you're making up things, right? You were brought into this world. People before you were brought into this world, despite hardships, despite challenges, despite difficulties, and you made it. Okay.
I don't think there's a rejection of parenthood. They want to have kids if.
She says, I don't think there's a rejection of parenthood. Yeah, there is. I think so. I completely disagree with this person. Okay? There is completely a rejection of parenthood. There's a rejection of being a mother. There's not even an understanding or a definition or a concept of being a mother or a father these days, from my perspective, okay? And it's limited. My perspective is just based on my own little path. But when I look around, and that includes social media, my public interactions and stuff, people don't know what a mother is. They don't know what a parent is. They feel like it's just some sort of label or designation. They don't understand the actions that are involved that define that word, that make you not just a parent, but a good one or a bad one. They have no idea. People have no clue, especially when you can go just make a baby in a test tube these days or whatever. They treat babies like inconveniences. You should hear how many, I get so sad because I pride myself on being a good father. And it breaks my heart when I hear other people talk about their children. Almost all the time, all I hear is bad shit. Excuse my language, but it's like they're roasting their own children all the time. And all I can think of is, it's your fault. Don't blame your kid. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's the schools. It's the world. It's this. It's that. No, it's your job. Okay. They're reflecting you mostly. You're the first thing they see in the morning, at night, etc. But all they do is like, oh, I don't and then they say, I don't know how to. Right? If their children are throwing tantrums or screaming all the time, I don't know how to make them stop. I don't understand. Well, part of that is your fault for not researching, for not studying, for not actively looking into it to figure it out. Because everything is our thing. Everything is something you can figure out. Everything is something you can learn. Right? But the other part of that is the system that you were brought up in, which I understand. I was brought up in the same system. They don't teach you how to be a parent. They don't teach you how to love. They don't teach you. They talk to students like they're cockroaches, like they're insects, like they're robots. You know what I mean? Even if they did have a parenting class, I imagine it would be quite cold and robotic.
If they feel like.
And speaking of robots, they'll probably have robot teachers here soon that will teach parenting classes and sex ed and all kinds of crazy stuff.
They have a good life, they have a good job, they have a good future, they can have a good housing situation.
Wrong and wrong and wrong. She's like, these are all the reasons why all the mature intellectual humans around the world are not having babies on any of the countries everywhere, because they're really giving this some thought. They've sat down for months at a time and they've gone over diagrams and schematics and notes, and they've cross-referenced bull fucking shit. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm calling out the world. I'm calling out people that say this kind of crap. This is garbage. I don't know who they're talking to and who they're thinking about. If there is an instance of, someone that does that, that's not how most babies are made. Okay? I'm telling you. It's an act of love, which is spontaneous, which is an action. It's not let's plan it out. Let's type it out on the computer. Let's figure it out. Some people might. Good job. I think that's great. But mostly, having a baby is sort of a spontaneous byproduct of physical affection towards another, which is not something before you go put on your makeup and you put on your cologne and you take your shower and you shave or whatever you do to look good so that you can attract the opposite sex. Maybe, sometimes, in some instances, rarely these days. You don't sit down with your calculator and run figures and shit.
And that is not the case for so many Americans.
Okay, that was enough of that one.
The total fertility rate in the...
Hold on. What else? China. China also is having a fertility problem. They're giving away $500 per child. Congratulations, you got $500 to have a baby. You know why? Because people can't have babies. Nature is revoking your privilege. Okay? I don't mean to make it sound like it's judgmental or anything. It's just a natural byproduct of what the earth is going through energetically, okay? And it's affecting you. The energetic signature of the earth and all its forms resonates through you, us, all of us collectively. And so it's going to start having an effect. These fluctuations that happen in the electromagnetic spectrum and other things goes through you, all of us, and we all start adapting and changing and going into flux and acting strange and acting up, and there are new norms and new, all kinds of new stuff, which is really just abnormalities that happen within the human race. And this is why I watch people. They are the biggest omens of all to me, aside from extreme weather and the ocean and nature and big things like that. People are right there on the list. You know what I mean? How are they acting? How are the people responding? Because they're just reflecting what's going on with the earth naturally. China offers, here's another one that says they're giving away $500 or $1,500 in a bid to boost births. There's incentives now, right? If you've ever seen, there's prophetic movies and television shows that have this as their storyline because they're not fiction. None of them are fiction, in case you haven't figured that out yet. Let's listen to this woman and her reasons, her intellectual reasons for choosing, so proud to choose to end the human race, to not have a baby. It's my choice, and I'm so proud of that choice. Well, good. I wish everyone on Earth would just do like this woman is about to do or say. And that way it could just happen faster,
You know how I know that I don't want to have kids? If you gave me a genie and you said you can have 3 wishes, and I said I want unlimited money.
Unlimited money.
I want a 100% guarantee that I'm going to have 0 complications in my pregnancy.
Zero
my birth.
complications in pregnancy.
Any problems in my relationship at all. And I'd magically have unlimited time to be able to do everything that I wanted.
Unlimited
as
time.
well as... So
she wants unlimited money. Can you imagine going back... Someone... This is crazy. Like, I'm just imagining 80 years ago, someone alive listening to this crap. The only way I'm going to have a baby is if you gave me a genie that could give me unlimited wealth, unlimited time, free time to do whatever I want to do, and then guarantee me that I'm not going to have any complications in a world that's all fudged up and, I don't have to watch my diet, my attitude, my energy, nothing, so that my body is perfectly healthy. Listen to these demands that she has in order for her to consider having a child.
Raise this child, I still wouldn't do it.
Now, those are not actually the reasons why she won't do it. She'll tell you the actual reason here in a second.
Not everybody is meant to procreate.
Not everybody is meant to procreate. Well, I've got different opinions on that. I don't personally want everyone to procreate, but, you are born with the tools. Most people, as far as I know. Yes. You're born with the tools to do it. It's a part of life, and continuing life and all of that stuff. But she's saying not everyone was born to do that. That's fine. Sweet. This comes to that weird choice thingy, like, That's fine. I mean, I don't care either way. I can't wait for the apocalypse. That's my perspective. I don't care if people have babies. I don't care if they don't have babies. I don't care what they think they're doing out there. I'm waiting for the apocalypse so that the world can become a better place once more.
And that is okay. And it's not some kind of feminist brainwash telling me that.
Not some kind of feminist brainwash. Or if you're in England, wash, or however you guys say that. You guys are adding extra R's onto everything. Anyways, it's not some kind of feminist brainwash. Oh, okay, well, I take your word for it. I'm sure that's 100% true. It's not some kind of brainwashing. They're not putting this on the internet to make you so proud, to not have children, to not contribute to life or whatever. And I'm not taking sides either. Like I said, I want the population to be reduced by Mother Nature, because that's going to lead us into the golden age. But I just think my mind is blown as a people watcher, listening to people's excuses and contradictions and reasonings, or alleged reasons.
Finally allowed or should be selfish. It's that we are the first generation that's openly talking about it like this, and it makes people mad.
We are the first generation that's open to talking about it like this, and it makes people mad, makes them so mad that we're choosing not to continue the world's population and essentially destroy ourselves. I can't believe people are getting so angry at my choices. Like, I don't care. I'm not angry with her choice. She sounds like an idiot, and I don't really want more idiots in the world. You know, it's just, that's from Idiocracy. That's why it's called that. But listen, here comes her actual reason. Not because she's not super wealthy, not because she doesn't have unlimited free time. So, can you imagine even telling someone that 60 years ago? Like, they'd probably, you know.
But Tara, you're going to be missing out on so much if you don't have kids, yes. And you're going to be missing out on so much by having kids.
You're going to be missing out on so much by having kids. You're going to be missing out on karaoke night and buy one get one free drinks night at the club, and all the different men you can bang in 1 year, and you know, settling down with one person, and you know, the freedom to continue dressing and half naked, and you know, I don't know, I'm just making shit up, but you know what I'm saying, right? This is her actual reason. She's been told you're gonna miss out on so much by not having kids. Like, you're gonna miss out on watching another life form grow and develop and being a part of that and contributing to the future, shaping the future by how you raise your child. If you want the future to be better, raise a better child. Raise a child that's better than the children today. Or, you know what I mean? And memories, and just seeing them and living vicariously through them and laughing with them and hearing them. Like, one of my favorite things is hearing my son just bust up laughing in the next room when he's watching something or something happens. Just that innocence that reminds us of what it's like to be children. I don't know. There's like a million amazing things that I could just sit here and list off that I enjoy personally about being a father. But she's worried about all her single life fun shit. Woman, you're gonna get old. Okay? Here's the cold hard fact, okay? She's gonna start getting old, wrinkled. Her physique is going to reflect her lifestyle, which I'm sure we could all guess at. And pretty soon she's gonna get to that borderline age where it's the gray area, and she's like, oh shit. I'm not going to be able to have children in the next like 5 to 10 years. Better pick someone out, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be weird for her.
That I'm going to have in my child-free life. That is, but Tara, you're going to be missing out on so much if you don't have kids, yes. And you're going to be missing out on so much by having kids.
Oh, I'm missing out on so much. It's not like I had, it's not like I lived as a teenager. It's not like I lived through my 20s and even my early 30s and stuff. It's not like I went out and had all the crazy ass fun in the world and did the stupidest things and made all kinds of goofy, dumb memories and stuff. You want to do that as a 75-year-old, a 60-year-old, a 50-year-old, a 40-year-old. Awesome. I think you're, well, I don't want to like offend everybody. But listen, there's a balance, okay? Just because you have a child, I have children. I still go have fun, okay? I have children, and I still find the time to, you know, let loose and be free and go out. I'll go do karaoke and stuff. All the crap that she's thinking about right now, I could still go do that. I could go right now if I want to after this presentation, if I felt like it. My son's not with me today. He's with his mother, so I have that circumstance. But you know what I'm saying? Like, she's just, I don't want to say she's selfish, and I really don't care. It's like, you can have children, you cannot have children. But the problem here is she's trying to encourage you, all of the people of the world, by posting videos like this, to be like her. You know what I mean? Instead of really thinking for yourself and making whatever decisions you want to make. Anyways, yeah, let's move on to the next one. If you have asked ChatGPT a legal question, you may have accidentally doomed yourself in court, they say. You're already doomed if you're in court, is my opinion. But what they're saying is that the reason you shouldn't ask ChatGPT legal advice, here's the kicker, I read this whole article, is because they can subpoena your record of talking with ChatGPT and they can read it. It's not private. They can read it up in court and they can use it against you. If you're asking ChatGPT, what do I do if I killed someone or whatever, like, they can bring that up and use it against you in court, right? However, the reality here is they don't want you to have free legal advice. That's very simple, okay? They're trying to scare you into not getting the free legal. They're already starting to remove any types of questions that have to do with certain things, like legal questions. ChatGPT will say, well, I have to refer you to a lawyer. You know, you should go talk to a lawyer about that. Like, it's starting to just push back because it's really free legal advice, you know? And I'll share a personal story with you, okay? I went to court recently for a traffic ticket, right? I was accused of doing something I did not do. I backed over a signpost at night. The signpost was not marked. It was just dark outside. I couldn't see it. There was nothing, right? So I had to call 911 because my car got stuck, fish hooked in this post. This was like 3 months ago or something, right? I was out stargazing with my son and out on some dirt road. Anyway, these cops come and they were really cool, or trying, as far as cops go. And they were like, well, you know, we do have to write you a ticket. We could write you up for destruction of property or reckless driving, but instead we're going to cut you a break and we're just going to write you up for improper starting of a vehicle. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I go to court on my first appearance. Your first appearance, you go, and then they ask you to plead guilty. I don't know how many of you have gone to court, but that's how it works here in the United States. Your first appearance, you go, and they ask you, they call it a plea bargain. They say, listen, we want to give you some options. So we're standing in line. I'm watching these people talk to this secretary lady, and she goes, here's your options. If you plead guilty, then we're going to lessen the charges and we're going to deduct less points from your license, blah, 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 blah. My son is standing right next to me in line, and this is one of my proud father moments. This is a teaching moment. And I told my son, pay attention. Listen to all these conversations and listen to what the lady is telling these people. Your dad is going to walk up there and tell them he's innocent. I'm not going to say I'm not guilty. I'm going to say innocent. And the lady's not going to listen to me. I told him everything that was going to happen. The lady is going to insist that she offer me options, is how she's going to word that. Those options are lying and saying I'm guilty of something I'm not guilty of. Now, it might be a different case if you actually are guilty. I don't know, but I was not. So I walk right up to the thing. I tell that she's like, hello. So you got a couple different options. I said, listen, I'm innocent. That's what I'm pleading. I'm here to plead innocent. That's it. So write it down and let me know when I come back. She says, well, that's not how it works. I need to, and that's when people start saying they need to do stuff. A need on their part does not determine or necessitate a need on your part, right? So I told her I'm innocent, and she just kept on talking over me. She said, if you plead guilty, then we're going to drop the charge, or we're going to do this and that. And I'm like, listen, lady, I'm innocent. You're not listening to me, right? Anyways, so she wrote it down, innocent, blah, blah, blah. I go back to court, and instead of seeing the judge, they insist that I go speak with the officers who gave me the ticket so that we can work out a deal. I'm like, okay, let me go over there and tell them to drop the charges. So I go over to these officers who are now cops. They were not these cool chicks that I met on the road. I mean, they were kind of cool up until the point where they gave me a ticket. Anyways, and the lady's just got an attitude, a bad attitude, right? Just throwing her weight around with her vest and her bulletproof vest and her badge and all this stuff. And she's like, so what do you expect to happen today? What is it that you want us to come to an agreement on? And I was like, all right, well, I'm innocent. So I expect you to drop the charges because I didn't improperly start my car at all. And she's like, well, you hit a sign, you hit a post, blah, 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 or you hit a post or whatever. Right. And, I'm like, yeah, but unfortunately that's not what you ticketed me for. You ticketed me for improper starting of my vehicle, which you were not there for, right? You weren't there to see me start my vehicle. You're probably gonna lose if you go in court and try to say I improperly started my. Anyways, it was a whole deal, right? So I go into court and I confidently ask them, "Were you there to see me start my vehicle?" They were like, "No." But they were telling the judge, but he hit a sign, 600 feet later, he hit a post or whatever, this and that and the other thing. And the judge looks at me and is like, well, what would you like to say in your defense? And I was like, here's what I would like the court to do. I would like the court to focus on the law or whatever it's called. It's not a law. It's like, I don't forget what they call it, but it's like a law, right? That I was charged with breaking, which is improper starting of my vehicle. I would like you to focus on that and forget anything that they said about me hitting a pole 600 feet later after I already started my vehicle safely and perfectly and drove in a straight line backwards because I was stuck in a ditch. Anyways, so guess what? Victory. Not guilty. Now he immediately starts to reprimand me because he basically made his officers or troopers look like idiots. And he tells them, you shouldn't be cutting people breaks. You shouldn't be writing them up for lesser blah, 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 whatever. And he's like, however, you, sir, if they would have charged you with reckless driving, I would have found you guilty right here, right now. And that's what they try to do. They always try to reprimand people whenever they're not guilty or whatever, because they're protecting their own. Anyways, my whole point is I won because I was asking ChatGPT for legal advice. I didn't know how to fight that. But I kept on talking with ChatGPT, and that was my own free lawyer. If I don't have, only rich people can afford lawyers. You already know that. And if you get a public defender, you're probably going to lose. No, I'm sorry. I don't wish that you would lose, but you're probably going to, because they're not defending the public. They're defending the system. Okay. They're just pretending like they're on your side. All right. Next up. This one says it's like hell opened up. And a Russian volcano grows fiery devil horns, spewing out 1,000 miles of smoke in a river visible from space. This right here is just an omen. The concept of hell opening up. Hell is the underworld. The underworld is sealed off, has been for some time, but it's going through fluctuations, energetic, electromagnetic fluctuations right now, which keep those gases in the inner earth, right? But whenever it goes through fluctuations within that magnetic field, those gases will be released, which we see up here on the surface as earthquakes, strange lights in the sky when the plasma ionizes, explosions, wildfires, volcanoes exploding, all that type of stuff. But we're just getting a taste of it. You just wait until everything that's holding hell back, or the underworld, lets go. Because not only will the gases come up, creatures will come up. Inner earth humanoids will come up. There'll be all kinds of things coming up from within the earth. Next up, this is nice. So they have robots as doctors now that will just go and chip it, sew you up, cut you up, fix you up, do whatever. Who knows? God knows what they're going to do. Connecting Rabbit Holes just subscribed. High five to you. Welcome to my channel. So this looks lovely, doesn't it? It says here, they didn't even open my chest. Revolutionary robotic neck surgery replaces heart valve and shocks the medical world. Here's my question, right? No one can afford to go to the hospital, and therefore you have to get insurance, and plus you just legally have to here in the United States anyways, which is a scam, which is criminal, in my opinion, to force anybody to gamble. It's just wrong. Anyways, my question is, like, how is this going to affect the price? Because we claim that it costs so much because we got to pay the doctors. They got to go to school. They got to go to college for like 10, 12 years. And, you know, we got to pay all these people. Well, what happens when they're not people? What happens whenever they're just robots? Well, do you think they're going to lower the price? Give you a discount? No. This one says dermatologists, that's people who study the skin. Dermatologists say that these are the 35 best face serums to reduce wrinkles, acne, and more. These are the 35 best serums to spread across your face so that you don't get wrinkles and acne and stuff. Acne is caused by bacteria. Stop eating crap. Stop putting crap on your face, like serums and sunscreen and all that garbage, right? Wrinkles, this is all listen, you shouldn't be aging this fast. So there's a few things happening here, right? If you're under 100 years old, you should not have any wrinkles at all, right? Comparatively speaking to how long people used to live for when they lived for hundreds and hundreds of years, 100 years old is like being 10 years old. It's like being a child, all right? Us aging and wrinkling and the body becoming decrepit so fast and stuff is one of the huge omens of the apocalypse. We're basically all children on Earth, and we have a disease, an aging disease. We're children that are aging like we're elderly, but we're not, okay? All of you are children, and from my perspective, and comparatively speaking to how long people used to live for, and how long we will return to living for after the apocalypse when the atmosphere is energetically amplified. It will stimulate the collagen and elastin in your skin. The plasma will also act as an antibacterial agent. There will be no such thing as acne and all this weird stuff, right? You'll be young for a long time. You'll be beautiful for a long time. What else? Let's see. 35 best serums to reduce wrinkles, acne, and more. I guess that's all I really had for that. I can't remember. So let's move on. OpenAI's CEO. OpenAI is like the whole ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. They're like the McDonald's of artificial intelligence. OpenAI's CEO says that he is scared of ChatGPT. Not that it's slowing down in development. So this guy's name is Sam Altman. He developed ChatGPT and OpenAI and all that other stuff, right? It says OpenAI CEO Sam Altman said testing ChatGPT left him scared in a recent interview. He compared ChatGPT to the Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb, right? He warned that rapid advancement of AI is happening without sufficient oversight, right? The companies, which is one company the world across, is in charge of this technology, and there's nobody to put them in check. There's no checks and balances to AI at all. There's no laws. They're not asking you to vote on any AI related garbage, are they? I haven't seen that. I haven't even heard of that. Have you guys? You know what this reminds me of? The guy that developed this artificial intelligence that could potentially destroy the human race, and then all of a sudden quickly realized he screwed up and changed his mind. Yeah. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Same shit happened. The exact same story. The same story. This is why I tell you guys about the truth in movies, which I'm probably going to return to doing. I know a lot of people probably missed that segment. But the movies are not fictional. There's no such thing as a fictitious story, right? There's nothing new under the sun. It's all happening over and over. It's just stuff that we have forgotten about, or things that have been hidden from us, or our minds have been clouded, or things that we can't see coming in the future because we don't know about the past, which are the same, the future and the past. Last but not least, New York declares emergency as deadly virus rapidly spreads. Which virus? Rabies. Yeah, so rabies is on the rise, right? You can get rabies from all kinds of things, but if you don't know what rabies does to the body, it causes you to like spit and foam at the mouth. The body rejects water, basically. And so that's why you have all the spit and foam, because people don't want to swallow their spit. And they get really cotton mouth and dry and stuff, so they just start foaming or whatever. And they literally have hydrophobia. They're afraid of water. The body They have an infection, okay? Their mind has been taken over, and they also become very violent, very angry. They become like zombies. And a lot of people believe that this is going to lead to some sort of zombie apocalypse. What types of animals? Well, bats, often carry rabies. Raccoons, which is really sad because I think raccoons are really cute and I would love to have a pet raccoon, but yeah, raccoons, skunks. I'm not a big fan of skunks. I don't know. Foxes, I like foxes, whatever that is, and cats, and dogs, and cows, apparently. I don't know how many people get bit by cows, but yeah, rabies is on the rise. I'd say that's an omen of the apocalypse too. Let me check in on the chat, see how everybody's doing today. I hope that you have enjoyed everything. I'm doing better. So just in case you're wondering, I was hospitalized recently. I don't really want to go into the details. Some people know and stuff, but I got hurt pretty bad, and different parts of my body are in pain. It's like this is the first time I've been able to like sit down for this long too. But I got medicine. I'm feeling a lot better, and I feel like I'm healing up quick. I'm scheduled to make a in-person appearance as a actual speaker and at the Jackalope Freedom Festival in Arizona here in a couple of weeks, I believe, on the 9th, the weekend of the 9th. So check that out. I don't have any links for it because I just thought I'd plug it at the last second. But I'm going to go there. I'm going to, sell my books and sign autographs and stuff. And I'm going to give a nighttime campfire story presentation on the hidden history of our world and the nature of reality, starting from the very beginning, going all the way up to the present day, and then even into the future and prophecy, and explaining to people what to expect and how best to survive the plasma apocalypse, of course. So if I see you there, awesome, I'll see you there. If not, you can join my Patreon, where I do have some seats left for sort of a video conference that I have every couple weekends. I get together with some people that are signed up on that tier, and we all hang out. I got one person in Ohio, another person in Texas, I believe, another person in Australia, and we're all getting to know each other, and it's a great time. Really casual. People are asking me questions, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. That's fun too. I'm gonna roll the credits. You can also jump onto the credits on my Patreon if you'd like to support my work by having your name appear in the credits. And until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
Something's forcing me to stay. It'd be easier on me if I turned away to flee. But there's something holding on in the way being long gone. There's so many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake up. Far too many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake I'll try so hard to fade away, but something's forcing me to stay. It'd be easier for
on me if I turn away to flee. Oh. But there's something holding on in the way of being long gone. There's so many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake up. Far too many ways to escape, but I guess it's time to wake up, time to wake up. Time to wake up, time to wake up, baby. Time to wake up, time to wake up. Time to wake up, time to wake up, baby. Time to wake up, time